Hi, hello everyone. Welcome back to Crispin's channel, and I hope you guys are doing very good. In case you're new to my channel, this is Crispin 360. Do not forget to subscribe, like, and share. Today is another beautiful episode of Crispin, and of course, I have something important to share with you guys. I mean, it's more of a tips, So don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. In case you just tuned, this is Crispin 360, and here today I'm going to be talking about how to get jobs in Belgium. In the previous years I've doing videos about how to find a job in Belgium, where to stay in Belgium, life in Belgium, the food in basically culturally of Belgium, and I try to entertain you guys by telling you guys all the tips and tricks of living in Belgium. So today on this topic we're going to be talking about in fact, the 3 top places you can find jobs in Belgium. So without time being wasted, let's jump into the first one. So, I mean, I don't want to go back into my old videos, but for this video, I just want to say that, look, Belgium is it's not that big, okay? It's like it's one of the smallest countries in Europe, actually. It's more like central, so it's not that big. But when it comes to job, I mean, there's a lot of jobs here, like plethora jobs here, like in any sector. I believe you can find something here. I mean, of course, you have to also do your research. I'm going to be giving you guys what I have, but you also have to do your own research, because I might not know all the info, or I might not be telling everything because I don't know too much. I only share what I know, okay? So, of course, I mean, by the end of this video, you still have some questions. You can always leave your questions under the comment section, or of course, in my Instagram or my Facebook, and I'm going to be replying to you guys. So look, here's the thing. You are in Belgium, you're looking for a job, and I think a lot of people make these mistakes. So I'm trying to just correct you, because once upon a time, myself, I was also in the same situation, okay? So I'm trying to make this video very generalized, so everybody can just relate to this video, So look, here's the thing, okay? Belgium, like I said earlier, is a small country, but there's a lot of opportunities here in any sector you find yourself. Nursing, logistics, everything is here, So, but I'm gonna be mentioning the big 3 cities where you can find jobs. In fact, the top 3. So you don't find yourself, depending on what you want to do, maybe you can decide for yourself which of these 3 cities or regions or province it's okay for. So the first city where you can find jobs, or I believe you can find a lot of opportunities, is Ghent. Ghent is always the first. Why am I saying this? Look, a lot of people come to Belgium. Everybody wants to stay in the capital city, right? We all want to go to Brussels. Belgium is divided into 3 provinces, if I'm correct, okay? Because we have the Brussels, the Wallonia, and then the Flemish side, okay? Now, the Flemish side speaks Dutch. The Wallonia and Brussels, they speak French, obviously, okay? So now we are going to divide this into 2, so it will be easy for you to understand what I'm talking about. So look, here's the thing, so if you decide to live in the Flanders or the French side, these are some of the pros and cons, okay? So we're going to be talking about the pros and cons, actually, So like I said earlier on, Ghent is the first place you should be looking at, because listen, Ghent, yeah, everybody might say that Ghent is a student town, which is true. It's a student town, okay? I mean, I'm not going to be disputing the fact. It's true. It's a student town, but there's a lot of opportunities in Ghent. So I think many people come here, they want to stay in Brussels, but there's not a lot of jobs. And I mean, no shade to Brussels people, but Brussels, it's French. Somebody might say, why is it so much French? I mean, it's Brussels, they speak French there, and most of the jobs, you should be able to speak French. And the truth is, most of the jobs in Brussels, it's not like logistical jobs, like for instance in Brussels, unless you work for the EU, like those parliaments, like the European Union, that is different, like more like a sedentary work. But I'm talking about everyday people who are just coming here to make ends meet, you know what I mean, right? Not people who are looking for upskill. Of course, if you're a doctor or a nurse, but there are some jobs that you want to, it's more like an entry position, everybody wants to start from somewhere. So I'm talking about being a caregiver, or being a warehouse worker, or maybe a cleaner, domestic help, something like that. So let's just start from that basis, then we can elevate, you understand? So like I said, Ghent, Brussels, you will not find this in Brussels, of course. I mean, because they are more into horeca, like horeca means hospitality, like catering, basically. If you want to be like a waiter, a chef, kitchen stuff, you know, you can find that in Brussels very easily, okay? But when you're looking for a more, and like I said earlier on, you have to be able to speak French, and I don't speak French. I mean, I know 1 or 2 words, but I'm not very good in speaking French, so I don't want to say I speak French, okay? So if you don't speak French, there's some of the things that you're not going to find a lot of opportunities for you. But Ghent is in the Flanders. I remember Belgium is not an English-speaking country. We know that, but there are a lot of opportunities here, like especially in the Ghent or like in the Flanders side, either Ghent or Antwerp, because they are the. Because I'm gonna go into Antwerp later, but let's just deal with Ghent for now, okay? So Ghent has a lot of jobs. I mean, listen, we can walk on the streets of Ghent and you find a lot of interims. Interims is what you guys call job market in the UK. It's just like where you can go and look for a job, basically, you understand? So agencies, yeah, agencies. So Ghent has a lot of job because why? Because it's a Dutch site and they have a lot of, I mean, developed place, you know, and the economy is very strong. I mean, in terms of money, the modern lifestyle there is different, you know, compared to the French side, you know. I mean, Brussels is okay, but when you go to the Wallonia, it's more like the outskirts of where everything is happening. It's a quiet place, you understand? So Ghent will always be the first place if you're looking for a job. Always look into Ghent, okay? And also the reason why I believe Ghent is the best place for jobs, because and Ghent also, it's kind of, you know, you will find a lot of jobs there, and the good thing about Ghent is that you can also find, like, in fact, it's easy to access these places, you understand? That the buses and trams, they go to all those remote areas, so you are lucky things like this in Ghent. So look into Ghent. If you come to Belgium, don't be looking to stay in Brussels. Yeah, Brussels is beautiful, you can find some jobs, okay, but if you want like real like warehouse jobs, cleaning jobs, and Ghent has a lot to offer you. And in Ghent, they don't really care about you don't speak French, you don't speak Dutch. Most of them, they speak English here, so it's likely you'll find something here, you understand, compared to Brussels. That is the first. Now the second one is Antwerp. Now Antwerp basically it's like Ghent. You can find jobs in Antwerp also. I live in Antwerp for the moment, but the problem in Antwerp also is that, like I said, you have to speak Dutch. Most of the jobs here, you have to speak Dutch here to find the jobs here. That is the problem also in here in Antwerp. So you always have to decide these two things. You can find English jobs in Antwerp also. Ghent and Antwerp seems to be competing about these things. You are likely to find an English speaking job in Ghent than in Antwerp, and in Antwerp, most of the jobs too, they want you to have your own transportation, because you know why? Most of the jobs are outskirts, very far. Some of them you really have to take the ferry. I mean, like the water, ferry basically, you know, or you have to go with your own car, because there is no transport. That's like the road system here doesn't access a lot of these things, you know. So then again, we talk about Ghent will always be the best place to look for a job. That's the first one. And housing too is actually difficult to find in Ghent, but it's actually easier to find places in Antwerp to rent. Yeah, that's the difference, you understand? So that is the two things. It's either you stay in Ghent, it's a student town, it's only busy on summer. When it's winter, it's like a dead town, there's nothing there. Or you can move to Antwerp and, I mean, look for something in Antwerp. Like I said, in Antwerp, you have to have your own car. Most of the jobs, they want you to have your own car. Like, they want you to have your own transportation. And then they want you to also be able to speak Dutch. That's most of the requirements here in Antwerp. Now, the third one is Brussels. Like I said earlier on, Brussels, if you really want to go into catering, hospitality, you know, nursing, care, that you speak French, of course, you'll find something there. But if you are only somebody like an Anglophone speaking person like me, who speaks only English and basic Dutch, I cannot live in Brussels. I can only go there to party, to meet my friends, you know, chill out, but it's not a place for me to live. I lived in Brussels for a year and I'm like, no way, Crispin, it is not for me. So I left Brussels and I moved to Flanders. It's easier for me here. Like, I can communicate very well here. So yeah, these are the three places you can find jobs. So we have Ghent, we have Antwerp, we have Brussels. Now let's go into not so good about these three places. Now here is the thing, okay? Like I said, if you live in Ghent, Ghent is a student town. So when it's summer, it's more bars and there's a lot of activities that goes on in Ghent. But when it's winter, it's like a dead town. That is the problem in Ghent. It's like a dead town. Literally, everything is not really like functioning and all that. But you can still go out if you really have a click. Like I always say, happiness is not formed by people. It's where you find yourself. That is happiness, you understand? So just by the way, you know, Ghent won't give you Antwerp vibe or Brussels vibe. It's not like that unless it's summer, okay? So that is the only thing. And my problem is, I mean, I'm not gonna be going to Paradise Monday to Sunday, so if once in a while I go out with my friends, it's okay. So I mean, Ghent is the best place for you actually. That's the first stop in my list. The second place I talked about is Antwerp. Now even before I go into Antwerp, I mean, like I said, Ghent, it's difficult to find housing. That is the problem in Ghent, because I hear it's not easy to find an accommodation in Ghent. So you really have to look into that. Okay, so yeah. The second place is Antwerp. You can find a job in Antwerp, but you must be able to speak either Dutch or French. That is the two things. You can find something in English, but it's always far away, you understand? So the third one is Brussels. You have to speak French fluently, and sometimes English can be also it's still the same problem. I mean, they prefer the more French than English in a way. So unless you work in the, you know, the high class or like the sedentary jobs, that one is okay. But if you want to work like a warehouse job, cleaning job, domestic, like entry level jobs, you really have to be able to look into all these three regions. I know a lot of people make this mistake. They come here, they don't even know where they want to stay. Everybody wants to stay in Brussels. Brussels is good, but Brussels also is expensive. I mean, everywhere in general is expensive, you know, but Brussels is like extremely expensive. And you the accommodation, the housing in Brussels, it's almost the same like Antwerp, but in Ghent it's so difficult. I worked in Ghent for so many years, but I moved to Antwerp because I prefer to live in Antwerp and work here in Antwerp, because that's the field I am. It's better for me to live in Antwerp. So yes, these are the three places you can find jobs to do, of course. And I know even if you can't find a place in Ghent, listen, when I lived in Brussels, I was working in Ghent, so it's not that far actually. It's like 35 minutes by train. So you can, I know people, my ex-colleagues, I know people who lives in Brussels and work in Ghent. Likewise, I know people who live in Antwerp and like they commute every day to Ghent. So Ghent is more like a central. So it's either you come from Brussels to Ghent or you come from Antwerp to Ghent. So and both places are not far from each other. Like I said, Brussels to Ghent is like 35 minutes. From Antwerp to Ghent is like 45 minutes by train. I mean, depending on which train you have, because in Belgium we have two types of train. We always have the slow train and then the fastest train. Some of them stop, some of them don't stop. So you have to check which train is best for you. So yes, these are the three places I think you can find job. If you have any question about this, please, like I said, get in touch with me on my Facebook or my Instagram, and I'm going to respond to you. And of course, I also want to add that the job thing in Belgium, like I said, if you cannot speak Dutch or you cannot speak French, these are the two official languages in Belgium, it is so difficult. You are limited, and you really have to come to this country and do all your Dutch courses. And trust me, it's debatable though. You cannot use few months to learn the language. It takes years and practice. And like I said, it's debatable. You can fight with me or just hold your peace. You understand? It is difficult. So prepare your mind, psychic yourself, and be ready to face no's, because there's gonna be a lot of no. But of course, if you're willing to like pull up your sleeves, you know, in fact, to roll your sleeves, you understand, and work with your hands or what I mean, physical jobs, Ghent has that. Brussels, not so sure. Antwerp, you can find something, but try, like, best believe, out of 10 places you go to, 8 will ask you, do you speak Dutch? Do you have your own mode of transportation? But in Ghent, out of 10, you can get like 8. You know, out of 10, you can get like 8 people that will say, no, you cannot speak French, you can't speak Dutch, no problem, come, let's work with you, you understand? So think about all these three things, and of course, I mean, you can make some money and then of course live comfortably. Of course, everybody wants to be happy in life, right? So look into these three things. I say it's by Crispin. So look into these three things, and of course, I'm sure you can find something. And like I said, I am more focusing on the domestic or the entry-level jobs, like warehouse jobs, cleaning jobs, you know, restaurants. With restaurant jobs, you can find it basically everywhere. But if it's Brussels, you really have to speak French. You understand? Brussels, Ghent and Antwerp, you can find something there. So look into all these three things, okay? All right, guys, we've come to the end of this beautiful episode of Crispin's 360, and I hope you've learned something down. Of course, if you don't have, if I didn't say something you want me to say, just write a question down. If I cannot answer, I can make a video, okay? So I love you guys. Have a nice day, and on to the next episode of Crispin 360. I have to sign out, and I love you guys. Bye, y'all.